The elevator hummed. Doors slid open. A vast, chaotic space unfolded before him, rows upon rows of desks, bathed in the eerie green glow of countless monitors. Figures hunched over, whispering into headsets, their faces illuminated by the flickering light. A cacophony of noise assaulted his ears. Frantic keystrokes, hushed conversations, the constant drone of machinery. This was the subconscious operations department, and he, the newest recruit, was utterly overwhelmed. The air hung heavy with the smell of stale coffee and nervous sweat.
What is this place?
He felt a hand on his shoulder, a reassuring squeeze.
What is this place?
"Welcome to the show," a gruff voice said, tinged with a strange mixture of fatigue and excitement. The recruit turned to face his guide, a woman with tired eyes and a knowing smile. She held out a chipped mug.
Coffee?
He accepted, the bitter liquid doing little to soothe his nerves.
What is this place?
The woman chuckled, a dry, humorless sound.
This, my friend, is where we shape desires. This is where we control the minds of men.
She led him through the labyrinth of desks, each one representing a single human mind.
We handle it all here.
She explained, gesturing to the sprawling room.
Love, fear, anger, but our bread and butter, addiction.
They stopped at a particularly chaotic section, the air thick with tension.
This is nicotine control.
Screens flashed, displaying graphs with jagged peaks and valleys. Operators barked into headsets, their voices tight with urgency.
We keep the world hooked, one puff at a time.
The recruit stared, bewildered at the scene unfolding before him. This was not the clean, sterile environment he had imagined. This was a gritty, high-stakes battleground. He watched an operator slam his fist on the desk, his face contorted in frustration.
Damn it, he's resisting. The craving isn't taking hold.
The guide sighed.
That's our client. He's trying to quit.
Panic rippled through the nicotine control section. Screens flashed red, alarms blared. The client's resolve was stronger than anticipated. Operators scrambled, their faces pale under the harsh fluorescent lights.
"We need to intervene. If he quits, we lose everything."
The recruit watched, his heart pounding in his chest as the chaos unfolded around him. He had never witnessed such desperation, such raw fear.
What happens if he quits?
The guide's eyes widened, her grip on his arm tightening.
If he quits, our entire department collapses.
The recruit struggled to comprehend the gravity of the situation. How could one man's decision to quit smoking threaten an entire department? His guide seemed to read his thoughts.
His addiction funds everything. Without it, we cease to exist.
Amidst the panic, one operator remained calm. Sarah, a veteran of countless mind games, studied the client's file, her brow furrowed in concentration. She was known for her unorthodox methods, her uncanny ability to exploit the deepest recesses of the human psyche.
"We can still reach him, but we need to be subtle, strategic."
She pointed to a line on the screen, a blip in the client's otherwise unwavering resolve.
"He has a funeral to attend. A perfect opportunity to plant the seed of doubt, to reawaken the craving."
The other operators gathered around her, their faces a mixture of admiration and apprehension. Sarah's plans were always risky, always walking the fine line between persuasion and manipulation, but they were often their only hope. She turned to her console, her fingers dancing across the keyboard, ready to weave a web of suggestion, a masterpiece of mental manipulation. The tension hang in the air, dragging it out like the last few drops of suspense in a pulp thriller.
And that's when Sarah does it.
She doesn't wait for him to cave.
No, no, no.
She puts the thought right into his head. Not just any thought, the thought.
We're all going to die someday.
John stares.
She put the thought in his head.
Like flipping a switch, the guide says, snapping his fingers. Click, there it is. We're all going to die someday.
And oh boy, does it land. It hits him like a freight train, right there at the funeral. Mortality, fleeting life, the stress, the emotion. It all comes rushing in at once. And the cigarette? The cigarette is right there, waiting. That's when he hesitates just for a second. And in that second, Sarah's got him. The guide's voice grows gleeful, eyes wide with the thrill of the memory. He reaches for the cigarette. What the hell, he thinks, and Sarah's thought is right there, egging him on. We're all going to die someday. He takes it, lights up, and that kid, that's the moment. That's when we knew we had him back. The floor hums with activity beneath them, the green screens glowing brighter now as if feeding on the memory of their victory. He was back to 20 a day within a week, the guide says, almost laughing now. 40 a day by the end of the month. Sarah saved the whole damn department with that one thought. And here we are. Every screen green, every operator at their post, all thanks to her.
The guide claps John on the back, grinning. So there you have it, kid. That's how it's done in nicotine control. It's not about waiting for them to slip. It's about making them slip. Sarah here, she's the best at it. She doesn't just react, she acts. She gets inside their head, plants the seed and watches it grow. And now, thanks to her, our client is hooked all over again.
John can only nod, the enormity of it sinking in. The hum of the green screens grows louder, the heartbeat of addiction pulsing through the room like the steady, unrelenting march of time itself. There you go. Now the moment is squarely focused on Sarah planting the fatal thought, and it becomes the linchpin of the story in that sharp, sardonic wolf style.